Greetings, comrades. Okay, this is about the third time I've tried to do this, but like I said, I'm pretty new at it, so hopefully this one will come out a little bit better. I've done a intro video that's up, and now I'm going to do my book haul video. These are books that were bought in September. I'm going to have to break it up because there were a lot of them. I haven't been able to read much for quite a long time. I could do it, but it wasn't very pleasant. It's still a little bit difficult, but so much better. I've had some eye issues, vision issues, but they're pretty much cleared up now. So I came across these book channels and decided I'd start one of my own. So this first haul, these are from books from September. I'm going to start out with just the ones that are murder mysteries. Okay, and forgive the weird lighting. It's really early in the morning, and I've had to turn the lamp off because it makes it too much of a glare. So anyway, hopefully you'll be able to see this okay. So on to the murder mysteries that I got in September. Now the first one is this one, which is The September Society by Charles Finch. There we go. This is the second book he wrote. The first one was A Beautiful Blue Death. It takes place in, I think it's Victorian England, perhaps Edwardian. I have started the first one, haven't quite finished it yet, but I liked it so far, and saw this one at, I think, the Friends of the Library, which has really good prices on books. They actually have a store in my local library, so you can go in and find books there, and this is like 75 cents or something. Not that the author doesn't deserve me to buy it new, but hey, you see a book you want for 75 cents and you don't have it, it's pretty hard to pass up. So that's the first one I got. I apologize for looking away. I have to kind of reach back. The second one is this one. I can get this in the Charles Dickens Murders. This one takes place, I think, well, a couple of places, I guess. Haven't read this one yet. I haven't read any of these yet that I'm going to be showing you. This one is about a professor. She finds out from her that her mother was involved in kind of, it says, a Dickensian love triangle back in the day, and there was a murder at the time. And now, all these years later, another murder has taken place kind of the same way. I think it's the same person in New York City. So that one sounded kind of interesting. The next one is Murder in a Nice Neighborhood by Laura Roberts. Now, I haven't read any Laura Roberts. This one sounds good too. It's about a woman who's a writer. Sounds like she's a bit of a loner. She wakes up one morning, she kind of sleeps in her VW bus, and one day she finds a body underneath it. Obviously, she becomes a suspect. And the friends that apparently she didn't realize she really had so many of kind of rally around to help her. But being not necessarily a people person myself, I'm really interested to read how someone like that is portrayed. So that sounded good. Next up is Murder in the Marais, or Marais, M-A-R-A-I-S, it's French, by Cara Black. She's written lots of murder mysteries. I haven't read them. I've been interested in them because they've gotten good reviews. I'm a little bit skeptical because Anglo's writing about things that take place in France. The few that I've tried to read are definitely lacking in the whole sense of French culture. I don't know, there's just something different about them. The ones I've tried to read, if you change the names of the people and the places, they could be anywhere. There's no Frenchness about them. I read a couple of books by a French mystery writer. I think his name is Peter Magnan, M-A-G-N-O-N-N-A-N. He wrote Death in the Truffle Woods. Go and get that and read it. It's wonderful, and you'll see there's just a huge difference between Anglo's writing about things that take place in French, and the French writing about that take place in France, and the French writing about things that take place in France. But like I said, this has gotten good reviews. He's supposed to be a really good writer, and it does take place in France, so I have hopes for it. The next one is The Black Country by Alex Grecian, I guess is how he pronounces his name. This is the second book that he's put out. This is early Scotland Yard days. Apparently, it starts out with the Murder Squad. The Yard was the name of the first book, and it sounds pretty good. I like, mostly I like some Victorian stuff. I like some, but it has to be done well. Otherwise, usually nothing past or earlier than World War One. I read, but some Victorian murder mysteries are pretty good. So I have the first one. Haven't read it yet. Wanted to check it out. Now these next two are both by Kate Kingsbury. She wrote a series of books called the Pennyfoot Hotel Mysteries, and I really enjoyed those a lot. And they had a beginning and they pretty much had an end. But what she has done since then, because they were really popular, and she has gone on to write other series alone and in collaboration with at least one other person, I think, for one of the series. But the Pennyfoot Hotel mysteries take place in Edwardian England, and they were really popular and they were really well done. And when that was finished, she began writing these. This one is called Herald of Death, and this one is Mold Murder. And in case you can't tell, these are Christmas themed books, and they're all Pennyfoot Hotel mysteries. I've read the first one. I've got a lot of catching up to do, but hopefully I'll get to a couple of them this Christmas, because I love Christmas murder mysteries. This next book is fairly new out in paperback, I think, and I assume it was in hardback at some point, by Wesley Stace, S-T-A-C-E. The name of it is Charles Jessold, Considered as a Murderer. And this is a book that is about, it's a great cover too. I don't know if you can see it too well, but this is really trying to keep the glare off. This is a really great cover. It's about a composer back when, well, I don't really know, a long time ago, because the story is being told from much later on by someone who was involved in all of it. There's a murder around it at the night before he was supposed to produce his grand big hit opera thing, which ended up never being produced. And so it's the story that this person is telling. Maybe it's kind of like a Gatsby kind of thing where somebody else tells the story about it. But it sounds really interesting and intriguing, so I thought I'd give it a shot. This one is called Tug of War by Barbara Cleverly. She has written a series that takes place, I believe most of the books actually take place in India, and I have not read them, but they do take place after the Great War, which is a time period that I'm really interested in. You know, the Great War era in the 20s and early 30s. When you get into the 30s too much, it starts getting into too much World War II stuff. And but this time, at least on this one, and I'm not sure about the others, but at least on this one, it has to do with World War One and Scotland Yard and the guy. So I'm not sure if the others all take place in India, if it's just the first one that does, then he goes back to England, or if Scotland Yard had people in India too. I don't know, and I apologize for blathering like an idiot. But this one doesn't take place in India. I think some of the story takes place in France, because it does have to do, I think, directly with something that happened in World War One. So it sounded really interesting, and I've been curious to try her books to see how her writing is. I think she has another series as well that I want to try about a nurse from the Great War. Okay, so that's that one. And the last one, I think, is called Ordinary Grace by William Kent Krueger, Krueger. And it's a really nice cover, which you probably can't see too well in here, but it's fairly nice. And this may end up being a little bit too religious oriented for me. I'm not really sure, because sometimes blurbs can be very misleading and you just don't know. So anyway, I got this one. I think it's been nominated for some awards, possibly won some. It's gotten really good reviews, so I thought I would give it a try and see. And it was also a sale book. I got it on sale. Oh, last one, the Grand Dame, Agatha Christie's Endless Night. Now, this one, I've read all of Agatha Christie's. I've read everything of Agatha Christie's except The Mousetrap, and I've always saved it because it's like the one thing of hers I've never read. So I know I've read this, but I read her books, and I've read all of her books, and I've read them more than once. But I don't really remember too much about this one, off the top of my head. But I saw this one on a list of like 100 best crime novels of the 20th century, and I don't remember what it's about. So I thought, well, I'll read it. I didn't make any big special effort for it. I thought one of these days I'll get a copy and check it out. And then I was at my used bookstore. I think it was at the used bookstore. I was either at the used bookstore or at the Friends of the Library, and they had it there. I think it must have been the Friends of the Library because there's no sticker on the back. And so I grabbed it. Endless Night, Agatha Christie. No idea what it's about. I don't think it's a Poirot or a Marple book, but I'm anxious to read that. And that is it for I think that's it for my September book haul for murder mysteries, which is probably half the haul. I do read a lot of mysteries. I'll try and do some reviews of some of these when I get these read. I'm hoping to get into them. Well, not the second ones in the story, but at least the others before the end of the year. So I'll try to do those as I go along. I'm not a really fast reader, so I'm not going to be uploading, these review videos, once every few days, that's for sure. But at least I can read again now, and I'm very happy about that. So I hope you enjoyed this, and come back for part 2, and I'll try and do the rest, or at least some of, and break it up into another couple of parts of the rest of my September book haul. Thanks for watching. Bye.